Merry meet everyone. This is Harry, your owner of the school, Lunar Mystic Occult School. I'm here to introduce you to the school itself. This is an introduction video, and I'll just hop right into it. Um, when you first log on, you will see that I have multiple sections, and let's go over the different things you see right when you pop on. Um, I do post full and new moon reminders, as well as I try to hold an online ritual, which would be in the calendar part, uh, for those full moons if there's enough participation. I've been awarded certificates and mentorship scholarships and things like that in order to, so I'm very credible when it comes to that. Um, and then, after that, let's go down the list of the different sections that I got. The occult school news. That's news that is going on inside the school itself. That would be like new videos coming up, or just general world news. Just world news is down here, but just generalized news about the school itself. I did make a separate one for introductions so it doesn't flood the general discussion. The general discussion, I try to post a couple things every day on it if possible, but I have it open to where if you feel you want to post or share something in it, you are more than welcome to do so. The next one, the occult images, it has none right now. But those are just different images that I've, created, and they all have the same theme, so you know that it was mine and I created it. But, yeah, those are like memes or, informational, um, but generally, they're not really, there's no place for them, but they add to the community. I'm even thinking about putting them behind like a paid classroom, and just doing it in batches that way. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna do that yet, but that's farther down the line. Let's keep going. We got your occult topic chats. Those are chats specifically about pagan and occult type subjects, like questions that you might have, some information you want to share, stuff like that. The World Occult News, that's limited to admins only to posting. And that's your, like, big time news around the world, when major events are happening. I try not to post all the negative ones. There are so many of them that it blows my mind and it kind of brings me down. So I'd hate to bring you guys down with it. Staff chat, obviously that's for me and my admin team if I ever get some. Current projects. Now that one is something that is specific to me. Um, in this group because not only do I own and run a pagan and occult style temple and school that I teach, but I also am the owner of a video game programming company. Um, right now we have two major pagan things in the works. The first one's not so major, but it still is a good highlight, and it will be free for the VIP members once um uh the ball gets rolling on it. We already have all the images. It's just a little bit of programming that needs fixed on it. But that will have their own cards and everything. I'll even supply the cards individually as images in case other people want to use it. Um, I'm gonna make them available for the general public, meaning I'm not copyrighting them. You can use them as you please. All I ask is you don't try and make money off of them. So it would fall under the Creative Commons once I do it. But the other project, the project that I don't have listed on here yet, but it's a big one and in the works, which is why I haven't posted about it yet. But where Lunar Mystic itself is based around Draconic and Astral, um, we have a video game out where it's like a simulation of your astral keep or where you keep all your stuff and everything else. It's a simulation type game. You can create wands, you can create potions, you can run around, you can see spells firsthand. You can, there are lots of little things to find in it to click on, and you learn stuff about that item. It's just jam packed full of features that I'm so excited for. That will be locked behind a paid wall. Um, I will offer it on here as a paid class, as well as on a video gaming platform, as it is technically a type of video game. But I'm very excited about that project. But enough about what is in the future. Let's look at now. Okay, so the first thing after we see all that, we're gonna go to the classroom, right? And boom, when you know it, there's Introduction to Lunar Mystic right here for you. It says join here for a tour. Awesome. And I just want to note that right next to it is the 28 Laws of Magic, and they will be referenced inside the intro to Lunar Mystic. So that's why I wanted to point that out. On introduction, this, if you haven't already I'm just repeating myself, but this is a high status focus, designed for those who, not only want, not only are like advanced, but because I start the ground up assuming you know nothing, and I have a totally different way of teaching magic in general compared to other places. Your level really doesn't, your knowledge and level doesn't play too heavily into it. It's not like, oh, if you're just getting into it, you're not gonna understand it. And it's also not dull where, people who are experts don't already know the stuff, so they don't want to take part in it. But we have a heavy focus on draconic magic, which is working with dragons, and astral magic, which is things like astral projection, and building an astral keep. The astral keep is one of the big classes that I have, but it's recommended you do some other astral work first because it really, really takes a solid mind on it. But let's keep going. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll just skim right through it. Um, but it talks about what draconic magic is. Talks about astral magic. Um, and again, this is what I mean by we do things differently. Our philosophy goes beyond the spellbook. A lot of people want to find that perfect spell, that perfect book. Compile every spell known. But they don't take the time to understand why those spells work. And from personal experience, learning the whys and the hows helps you out tremendously when making your own spells, so you're not having to search for the perfect one to get to do something, you can actually create one. So you go from being a passenger to a pilot. Um, and we decode the why. Why does it work? Like this text says, we explain why a red candle is used for fire, how smoke acts as a frequency matching bridge for air, and the focal logic used to follow your intent in reality. Um, so that's saying you understand the why we do that. Um, Synthesis. Uh, this allows you to break down a spell and analyze it and understand. This allows you to tweak spells, take parts of the spell out, rearrange it, just so you can mix and match and create your own. Um, Forging your own path, as I was just saying, it's the goal of the Skool protocol, which is a protocol that, I've called this entire pathway in school, um, is to allow you to go from being an always a student, always searching for the right spell, to the architect of the spell. You make them. Um, so while we give you the blueprints, you can build your own. Um, Path looking forward, um, we this just talks about what we value, and again, whether you want to burn blockages with draconic fire or go through the Akashic records through astral projection, you are here to become a master of your own reality. And I want to say to everyone, welcome to the inner circle. The wings of the ancient ones are all over us. So, now that the introduction part is done, let's go to the roadmap. So to get the ball rolling, it's a good idea to hop on over to the 28 Laws of Magic. You don't have to understand them right away. You don't have to memorize them. It's just a good idea to read through them so you know they exist and you can start to see and understand when we reference them in other portions of the class. Um, all classes on this channel rely heavily on understanding those 28 laws of magic, as well as focusing on the lessons that are in the introduction, which is why they're so important. They're in the introduction. And it's best just to keep going down one at a time and go in order because it's set up a certain way to maximize your potential. The grounding circuit, I'm not gonna read through all this, but the grounding circuit is your chakra that deals with grounding and stuff like that. It's to funnel access and energy and astral static in you, which creates mental fog. So by doing that, you create an anchor or a physical object that you can use to link your root chakra, the third one, to the said object, and it will automatically, you can train yourself to automatically funnel out that static. And that's what that's all about. The ancestral node is a step further than that, where you learn, what your DNA implies magically. Um, Look for certain patterns, answer certain questions, because a lot of stuff is in the DNA that we don't know about yet, that is magical in nature that we can't comprehend really. So identifying that allows you to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. And that's not anything negative, that's just letting you know where you should work on stuff, where you're good at stuff, and so on. The survival node is, basically works like a firewall. And, uh, so when like a threat is detected or like negative energy aimed at you, it will act to preserve your energy and your wall space. That's what the survival node is. The structural node, it's the skeletal logic one. Um, and this just explains, the how hard code habits and stuff like that, the integrity, the discipline needed, and so on and so forth. Even included a small ritual in here. Um, so and I gave you an assignment at the end of it, and while you don't need to turn it in, um, it's beneficial to you to do it. That's why I include it is because doing the homework assignments expands your mind. Prosperity. This is how to basically get fuel for what you're doing. Um, and as I mentioned before, the law is right here. Uh, so we do line the prosperity notes with the prosperity ink green, treating every financial transaction as a ritual act of binding value in your life. Um, and what you want to know is the law of words, which is words have power. So writing it down is a clear focus. Law of similarity, which is green relates to money. Yeah, and it goes in detail down here again. Um, and explains similarity and law of words, which can be referenced in the laws one. Belonging. This gives you a feeling of connectivity and frequency matching and stuff like fitting in basically. Um and because no one should go down this path alone. Having a helping hand is always good, even if you're a solo practitioner. You usually read books or you get, different things from other people. So having those connections is beneficial even for a solitary vitality node. This is the raw power that drives everything. Uh, and it's basically the engine, the stamina, the ignition, all that. Uh, which I go into high detail here. But it's to conclude the series. You do this ritual for 48 hours. And it's very rigorous, but you will find that it's also very fulfilling. Programs and add-ons. As I was saying earlier about the programs, the first one I'm making is the tarot card one. Um, so Mystic Tarot and Adventures in the Astral. And now, looking forward. So where do you go after all that? After you've done all that, after you've learned the laws, after you've read through the lessons, after you understand, where do you go? So, by creating those building blocks, you now have the foundation to pick and choose in any order you want because they're based on the foundation you just created. That is the system I use, and I find it very unique and very helpful. I've used it with my students for over 15 years now, and they've all came back to me saying that doing it this way allows them to explore things they never thought they'd be able to. Um, so again, it's the intro to Lunar Mystic and the 28 Laws of Magic. Now, I will not go through all the laws on this video, but I will be making a second video going over the laws individually. I expect it to be a long video or a series of videos. Um, but right now, I'm not gonna focus on all that, but let's go back to classroom. You got your general information, you got your documentation logic, which is just like tables and correspondence and, Plutarch English translation tables, stuff like that. Um, Alchemy 101 to be Alchemy 201. I have to fix that later. But, you know, you have all these here first aid kits, seasonal cycle, you know, even some rituals and examples with alchemy. Alchemy 201 is more advanced and it has more to offer. Um, Alchemy 102, this one has a ton of information, including symbols and everything else. Alchemy 102, while it's free right now for all members who join, it will be behind a paid wall once I get once I have enough people to start putting paid walls up. Next one is elements and how to use them. Learning the divine. And that's, a personal journey for you. The wheel of the year, we go over tools, such as crafting, inscribing, anointing. Even have some images to go with it. Uh, these ones are under construction. Sigils. Oh boy, do I love my sigils. But it goes in understanding how to make it, the creation process. Like I said, I focus more on how to help you help yourself rather than just giving it to you. I walk you through it so that way you can do it if you need it again. Fairy folk. So the rituals and images on fairies, basic spell work, psychic shielding, chakra work, advanced spell work, which actually has spells in it. And again, when I do spells, I plan on breaking it down into what laws are being used to create the spell. Divination, that's always a fun class. Now, the next one I'm going to mention is one of my biggies, Intro to Draconic Wicca. Pop in here. There's a few, but again, that's just the intro. There will be an advanced one. Oh, and I lost it. Manipulate energy, altars. This is just, how to make it and personalize it and sigils you should put on it. Ooh boy, the Wiccan Ring. This one, I take the long one and I will go step by step by step. Each line, I will project what it actually means, and so you understand it rather than just being able to repeat it. Understanding is the key here. Days of the week, witch tips. The witch tips is always a good one. Yeah, you see all these different tips and tricks. Well, it's not a full class yet. It really is special to me. Specific altars. These are types of altars that you can get other than your personal. And it goes into a little bit of detail on it. The next one is the moon, the phases, the generalized, pagan stuff. Advanced tools, and here's where it gets interesting. I help you create the tools, I help you bless the tools, I help you document the tools. Um, uh, Anything tool related, I help you. because I personally believe that if you create something yourself, A, you get more satisfaction, but B, you've already poured your energy into it, and then that item can now use that energy as a battery. Building a Book of Shadows, that one is under construction, but that will be up soon. It's one of the big ones I'm working on right now. Defensive Magic, again, it's one that I'm working on. Rites and Rituals. These are things like hand fasting, hand parting, death rite, sending off, stuff like that. Uh, and this is just blank pages. Yeah, it gives you a bunch of blank pages that you can use to create your own digital book shadows or whatnot. All about the runes. Um, this is literally line by line, each one broken down into what it does, the lore, the correspondence, the symbolism, everything. Uh, Castaway. Oh yeah, this is a collection of spells for people who have reached level 2. And so that helps gain more momentum, and that's something you guys can look forward to. The second one is for people who are level 3, membership level 3. Again, I'm rewarding you with spells um, by gaining those ranks. The next class, Astral Projection, I still have, it's a work in progress. But it is a huge focus right now. Astral Keep. Now, this is the one I was talking about. It's finished, but I gotta fix a couple things first, but it's pretty much finished. As you can see, it's very detailed, creating that astral realm. It's my pride and joy. Advanced dragon spellwork. Um, this goes more into depth about the different dragons and stuff like that, draconic magic. Oh yeah, this is gonna be for sigil images, tool creation. We already have a bunch of tools in here, to create. Some of them are very simple, to be quite honest. Um, Advanced clergy rituals. These are rituals that, clergy would probably find very helpful, and notes that they would find very helpful. Especially when it comes to doing hand fasting. It's one of the most requested forms of ritual for clergy to do. Um, Journeys into the astral. That is all about that video game I was mentioning and bringing up. The Lunar Mystic Tarot, same thing. You can see the overview of the program. I already have it down, but this is starting to get a little long, so let me skip through it. Calendar. Like I said, we did Dragon Wisdom spell last night. We have next full moon is 9 p.m. on the 1st. And I will put down every full and new moon that on the calendar, and we can try and work on getting some stuffs up. Members, we don't have too many right now, but we do have a fair small amount, which is very, very helpful. Leaderboards, we don't have any of that yet. But as you can see, level 3 and unlocks these two and level 2. And pretty soon you'll see like different levels unlocking many different things. In the about page, Oh yeah, I forgot about this page. The about page. Um, this right here explains quite a bit. Uh, alchemy, Astral Realm, Draconic Magic, and many modules. It's free right now, and I will always have a basic membership that gets you quite a bit of information, as I don't believe in all information should be locked up or anything like that. But I will have stuff for Pro and then VIP just to try and make back some money for my time, energy, and even my financial um, paying for school. If this actually blows up and a lot of people start joining it and I start getting income on it, I will be buying the $99 a month version, but right now it's only on the $9 a month version. Um, but my voice is going and perfect timing because that is it for me today. I hope you learned everything you needed to. Have a good day.